to Dark Nights of December. We do this, I do this every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, if you're watching live, please let me know that you can see me and hear me, okay, in the side chat. But as you guys know, excuse me, as you guys know, I read horror stories, poetry, or whatever, every Tuesday night. Just something about sitting around the campfire, the virtual campfire, and telling scary stories, right? If you're watching later, it's still good, but I think a lot of people like the live aspect of it. So hey everyone, Allan's here, Suzanne, Kelly, Scott Thomas, Mark Jones. Hey guys. You guys know how to make a guy feel wanted. I can say that for sure. So started this a while back, the Tuesdays and the Thursday nights, and it was just an experiment. See if anyone was interested in doing this in addition to the regular podcast. Hey, Rob. And I guess some of you are, and that's great. I appreciate it. Excuse me again. Um, hey, by the way, this Sunday, I'm going to have Matt Carden on. He's got a new book out, and also Doug Moreno uh, with Bad Hand Books. Have them both on. So, can you guys hear it, Monty running around in the background like a crazy cat? He's being crazy. Yep. Got my coffee here because I'm going to be up for a bit. So it's December, and I think probably where almost everyone is, it gets dark really early. Well, not probably, it does. Um, and I love that. A lot of people don't, but I think the people listening to this love that. And so we're going to read some Edgar Allan Poe poems. We're going to do this Dark Nights of December all month, every Tuesday. So yeah, thanks guys. Good to see you all. Kim, how you doing, Kim? All right, so a couple quick reminders, and then let's get to some Edgar Allan Poe, okay? Um, I am still thinking about whether I think everyone who is listening to this on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights are patrons. Uh, if you're not, it's only $5 a month, and you get a hell of a lot for it. I'm still thinking about whether I take this to Patreons only. It would still be on YouTube. It would just be an unlisted link, so it wouldn't change for you at all. You'd see the exact same thing. If anyone has an objection to that, uh, feel free to email me. My email is in the show notes. If you don't want to say it in the side chat or in the comments, but you can say it there too. And if you are a Patreon, Allan has worked really hard. I helped a little bit on our new Discord for Patreons only. It's kind of an inner circle community, and it's quiet, but we've just got it going, and it will pick up. Don't worry. I'm going to be in that voice chat. I forgot to do it today, but I actually set an alarm on my phone. I'm going to be in the voice chat every day for quite a while. So drop by. And if you're not, it's 24/7. Chat with the other patrons, chat with me if you want. And I think that's it. What uh, if you're watching live, tell me what your favorite Poe story is and favorite Poe poem is. Yes, and a huge thanks to Allan for the Discord work. I could not have done this without him. Thank you, buddy. I thought you'd say that, Kim. Speaking of the Raven, has anyone seen the Raven movie with, can't think of his name. He was in, John Cusack as Poe. Um, it's on Hulu or something. I almost watched it the other day and then wondered if it was worth it or not. Is it worth watching? Um, yeah. Okay, what about Poe poems? What's your favorite Poe poem? Well, you guys said Poe, you said the Raven. What's your favorite Poe story? Sorry about that. I need some water. I gotta keep it way up here so Monty doesn't steal it. There we go. Better put my coffee up there too. He'll come running up here like a crazy cat. Just okay. That's sort of the feeling I got, Mark. Well, why don't we start with the big one, the Raven. Um, okay, Pale Blue Eye. I was trying to think of the other one, Allan. Thanks. Anyone else favorite Edgar Allan Poe story? All right. I'm not going to do as I'm not James Earl Jones, certainly not Christopher Lee, but I'm going to give it my level best, okay? The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow. Sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I open wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, Surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, where thereat is in this mystery, explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon the bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's plutonium shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast, upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghostly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in quoting, croaking nevermore. Almost got through the whole poem without messing up a word. But if you wanted perfection, probably wouldn't be here on Tuesday night listening to me. You'd be listening to Christopher Lee. That's a poem. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Thanks, Chaz. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from some unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee. By these angels he hath sent thee respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind repenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me, truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil. By that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if, within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seemings of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight over her streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. Christopher Lee is great, but my favorite reading of The Raven is still The Simpsons. I think it was the first Simpsons Halloween Treehouse of Horror. Both the parakeet, nevermore, 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 Lenore. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. All right, let's take a quick vote. Would you guys like next a short story by Poe, or would you like another poem by Poe? I'm ready for either. I'm ready for either. Chaz says short story. Anyone else? Anyone else want to vote? All right, let's do a short story. Scott, you have the candles going? All right. It has been a long time since I've read these, but I need to correct that. It's time again. So I will do my best on these. Which one do I want to read? Can't make them too long. Do I like the Vincent Price films? You have to. I mean, there's just to be in the club, you have to, right? All right, let's try. Let's try. Be merciful to me on this one. Let's try Silence, a Fable by Edgar Allan Poe, published 1838. I think I need to get the audio of these read by somebody really good. All right, Silence, a Fable. Listen to me, said the demon as he placed his hand upon my head. There is a spot upon this accursed earth which thou hast never yet beheld, and if by any chance thou hast beheld it, it must have been in one of those vigorous dreams which come like the simoon upon the brain of the sleeper, who hath lain down to sleep among the forbidden sunbeams. Among the sunbeams, I say, which slide from off the solemn columns of the melancholy temples in the wilderness. The region of which I speak is a dreary region in Libya by the borders of the river Zer. And there is no quiet there, nor silence. The waters of the river have a saffron and sickly hue, and they flow not onwards to the sea, but palpitate forever and forever beneath the red eye of the sun, with a tumultuous and convulsive motion. For many miles on either side of the river's oozy bed is a pale desert of gigantic water lilies. They sigh one unto the other in that solitude, and stretch toward the heaven their long ghastly necks, and nod to and fro their everlasting heads. And there is an indistinct murmur which cometh out from among them, like the rushing of subterranean water, and they sigh one unto the other. But there is a boundary to their realm, the boundary of the dark, horrible, lofty forest. There, like the waves about the Hebrides, the low underwood is agitated continually. But there is no wind throughout the heaven, and the tall primeval trees rock eternally hither and thither with a crashing and mighty sound. And from their high summits, one by one, drop everlasting dews. And at the roots, strange poisonous flowers lie writhing in perturbed slumber. And overhead, with a loud and rustling noise, the gray clouds rush westerly forever until they roll a cataract over the fiery wall of the horizon. But there is no wind throughout the heaven, and by the shores of the river Zer, there is neither quiet nor silence. God only knows if I pronounced Hebrides and Zer correctly, but we're going to roll with it. How are you guys doing? You guys having a good week? Rob, thank you. Today is the second of the month, so I have 2 credits on Audible, and I'm going to look for those. You okay, Chaz? Okay-ish? It was night, and the rain fell, and falling it was rain, but having fallen, it was blood. And I stood in the morass among the tall lilies, and the rain fell upon my head. And the lilies sighed one unto the other in the solemnity of their desolation. And all at once the moon arose through the thin, ghastly mist, and was crimson in color. And mine eyes fell upon a huge gray rock which stood by the shore of the river, and was litten by the light of the moon. And the rock was gray, and ghastly, and tall, and the rock was gray. Upon its front were characters engraven in the stone, and I walked through the morass of water lilies until I came close unto the shore, that I might read the characters upon the stone. But I could not decipher the characters, and I was going back into the morass when the moon shone with a fuller red, and I turned and looked again upon the rock and upon the characters, and the characters were desolation. And I looked upwards, and there stood a man upon the summit of the rock, and I hid myself among the water lilies, that I might discover the actions of the man. And the man was tall and stately in form, and was wrapped up from his shoulders to his feet in the toga of old Rome. And the outlines of his figure were indistinct, but his features were the features of a deity. For the mantle of the night and of the mist and of the moon and of the dew had left uncovered the features of his face. And his brow was lofty with thought, and his eye wild with care. And in the few furrows upon his cheek, I read the fables of sorrow and weariness and disgust with mankind and a longing after solitude. And the moon shone upon his face and upon the features of his face. And oh, they were more beautiful than the airy dreams which hovered about the souls of the daughters of Delos. I get the disgusted with mankind part a lot. And the man sat down upon the rock and leaned his head upon his hand and looked out upon the desolation. He looked down into the low, unquiet shrubbery and up into the tall primeval trees and up higher at the rustling heaven and into the crimson moon. And I lay close within shelter of the lilies and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. And the man turned his attention from the heaven and looked out upon the dreary river's air and upon the yellow, ghastly waters and upon the pale legions of the water lilies. And the man listened to the sighs of the water lilies and of the murmur that came up from among them. And I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude. But the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I went down into the recesses of the morass and waded afar in among the wilderness of the lilies, and called unto the hippopotami which dwelt among the ferns in the recesses of the morass. And the hippopotami heard my call and came with the behemoth, unto the foot of the rock and roared loudly and fearfully beneath the moon. And I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude. But the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I cursed the elements with the curse of tumult, and a frightful tempest gathered in the heaven where before there had been no wind. And the heaven became livid with the violence of the tempest. And the rain beat down upon the head of the man, and the floods of the river came down, and the river was tormented into foam, and the water lilies shrieked within their beds. And the forest crumbled before the wind, and the thunder rolled, and the lightning fell, and the rock rocked to its foundation. And I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I grew angry and cursed with the curse of silence the river and the lilies and the wind and the forest and the heaven and the thunder and the sighs of the water lilies. And they became accursed and were still. And the moon ceased to totter in its pathway up the heaven, and the clouds hung motionless, and the waters sunk to their level and remained, and the trees ceased to rock, and the water lilies sighed no more, and the murmur was heard no longer from among them, nor any shadow of sound throughout the vast, illimitable desert. And I looked upon the characters of the rock, and they were changed. And the characters were silence. If you're just joining us, we're reading Edgar Allan Poe. And we're in the middle of the short story Silence, a Fable. And mine eyes fell upon the countenance of the man, and his countenance was wan with terror. And hurriedly he raised his head from his hand and stood forth upon the rock and listened. But there was no voice throughout the vast, illimitable desert, and the characters upon the rock were silence. And the man shuddered and turned his face away and fled afar off. And I beheld him no more. Now there are fine tales in the volumes of the Magi, in the iron-bound, melancholy volumes of the Magi. Therein, I say, are glorious histories of the heaven and of the earth and of the mighty sea, and of the genii that overruled the sea and the earth and the lofty heaven. There was much lore, too, in the sayings which were said by the Sibyls, and holy, holy things were heard of old by the dim leaves that trembled around Dodona. But as Allah liveth, that fable which the demon told me as he sat by my side in the shadow of the tomb, I hold to be the most wonderful of all. And as the demon made an end of his story, he fell back within the cavity of the tomb and laughed. And I could not laugh with the demon, and he cursed me because I could not laugh. And the lynx which dwelleth forever in the tomb came out therefrom, and lay down at the feet of the demon, and looked at him steadily in the face. There you go. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, everyone. Let's, what time we have here? 35 minutes after. And you guys, also, I need you to, if you want, have a say in what I read next Tuesday, next dark night of December. All right. I will tell you this. One night I'm going to read a few poems by Robert Frost, who is a lot darker than people think. Yeah, and Kim, the panelists and I are going to our next Lovecraft story that we discuss is going to be the festival, since it's December. So I need to get that scheduled with them and then upload it. So sound all right? All right. I'm going to read one of my favorites. Well, another one of my favorites, probably many people's favorite. And when I saw this quote, a bit of the poem, a quote, the first time I watched The Fog, I just knew I was going to love that movie, and I did. Which is, of course, A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, this much let me avow: you are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? It's actually a virtual reality, Edgar. We're stuck in it. Signs point to yes. I love it, John. I have time for one more thing, right? All right. Remember, I'll be here on Thursday night, as usual, 10 p.m. Eastern, and this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Matt Carden, and who, like me, is a Robert Frost fan. Matt Carden and Doug Moreno from Bad Hand Press. Well, maybe next week I read more Poe. I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. I have a bad feeling that my hair is going white. Let's see. That's not, yeah, okay. All right, let's read one more poem. We have time for that. Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, Rob, we'll do some Dark Frost next Tuesday, although I probably won't fill the entire episode with it, but I'll definitely do some. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love. I and my Annabel Lee, with the love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted, her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lay down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Yes, poor Annabel Lee. I don't know. Do you guys want me to read one more thing? I can read a Dark Frost poem. Or, well, I can't stick with Poe tonight because they're too long within our time. Sepulcher? Okay. Uh, email me, would you, please? Um, that, because this old brain's not going to remember that, Kim. All right. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm going to find, oh, wait a minute. I think I got them saved in an online notebook. Here we go. Let's check. Frost. Okay, so first of all, Rob, since you're interested, I mentioned my friend Matt Carden, who's going to be on Sunday. He wrote something a long time ago on his old website, The Teeming Brain, about Frost, a short essay. It's titled Robert Frost as a, quote, terrifying poet of a frozen inner landscape. So I'm going to link that in the side chat right now for you to look up now or later or whatever you want to do. Okay, here's a, oh, nice of you to show up for work, Monty. Hey, buddy. Can't have a dark poetry night without a black cat, right? Okay, bud, you lay down. All right, here's an example. Short Frost poem. I mean, did he write a lot of country poems? Um, oh, you're very welcome, Rob. You just made my day. I'm glad. All right, so here's an example. A poem called In a Disused Graveyard by Robert Frost. The living come with grassy tread to read the gravestones on the hill. The graveyard draws the living still, but never any more the dead. The verses in it say and say, the ones who living come today to read the stones and go away. Tomorrow dead will come to stay. So sure of death, the marbles rhyme, yet can't help marking all the time how no one dead will seem to come. What is it men are shrinking from? It would be easy to be clever and tell the stones men hate to die and have stopped dying now forever. I think they would believe the lie. Thank you for the forget what Yahoo calls it, or Yahoo, YouTube calls it, but thank you for the funds donation, Rob. Appreciate that very much. Let's see what else I wrote down a long time ago. Of course, everyone is aware of the Fire and Ice poem. So let's see here. An Old Man's Winter Night. I love that. Love that title. Yeah, let's read that one. No, it's not. I'm just going to read the first two lines that I really love. I mean, I love the whole thing, but all out of doors looked darkly in at him through the thin frost, almost in separate stars that gathers on the pane in empty rooms. Maybe I'll read the whole thing next time. I don't know how dark it is. Somewhat dark, I suppose. You can tell I'm not prepared because, oh, well, crap. I've got, I've got, of course, some Frost print books, but I also have them on Kindle, which is easier to access. So, and as you guys probably know, I do a lot of highlighting in Kindle. All right, here's one called Into My Own. All right. So Rob, you'll see what I mean. Hi, Monty. My little birdie buddy. Good boy. All right, into my own. One of my wishes is that these dark trees, so old and firm, they scarcely show the breeze, were not as 'twere the merest mask of gloom, but stretched away unto the edge of doom. I should not be withheld, but that some day into their vastness I should steal away, fearless of ever finding open land, or highway where the slow wheel pours the sand. I do not see why I should ever turn back, or those should not set forth upon my track to overtake me. Who should miss me here, and long to know if still I held them dear? They would not find me changed from him they knew, only more sure of all I thought was true. But especially the first four lines, stretched away unto the edge of doom. All right, what time is it? Okay, let's see if I can squeeze one more Frost poem in here. Oh, here we go. All right, we're we're late for this one. It's not November, it's December, but the mood is the same, right? What are you writing down, Kim? All right. This one is called My November Guest by Robert Frost. My sorrow, when she's here with me, thinks these dark days of autumn rain are beautiful as days can be. She loves the bare, the withered tree. She walks the sodden pasture lane. Her pleasure will not let me stay. She talks, and I am fain to list. She's glad the birds are gone away. She's glad her simple worsted gray is silver now with clinging mist. The desolate, deserted trees, the faded earth, the heavy sky, the beauties she so truly sees, she thinks I have no eye for these, and vexes me for reason why. Not yesterday I learned to know the love of bare November days before the coming of the snow. But it were vain to tell her so, and they are better for her praise. Yeah, I love this one. These dark days of autumn rain are beautiful as days can be. And not yesterday I learned to know the love of bare November days before the coming of the snow. Um, hey, Miriam. Oh, Rob says he's going to join the Patreon. Thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of Patreon only podcasts there. Yeah, me too, Scott. I'm glad you liked that one. Titles of the first two poems. Well, the first one was In a Disused Graveyard. Oh, and the second one was Into My Own. And this third one is titled My November Guest. So I think you'll agree those are perfect for dark nights this time of year. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday night with me. If you have any requests for next time or any time, my email is in the show notes down a little bit. And if you want reminders for the podcasts, you can join the email list, which is real close up in the show notes. And I promise you, it's very low traffic. 2 or 3 emails a week, just reminders. Yes, thank you, Allan. Welcome to the gang, Rob. Listen, I really appreciate all you guys. You guys are part of our little community, and that truly does mean a lot to me. So stay dark, stay spooky, and we'll see you on Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Good night, guys. Read some Poe before you go to bed.